Welcome to The Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew, and let's get to the show.
Whoa, whoa, listen to the music. Whoa, whoa, listen to the music. God, I can't sing very high. Welcome to the Daily Grind, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Not by the Doobie Brothers, although shout out them.
The Doobie Brothers.
So good. What a great name for a band, too.
Yes.
It's like, come on, y'all. We peaked. We peaked with the Doobie Brothers, both in music and in name, but I digress. It's Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday, and I have got
Hump day.
I got to remember my week, man. It's so confusing. I got Jared with me. How are you, Jared? Are you good, brother?
Oh man, I'm good, man. Just it's finally Wednesday. I was sitting down yesterday, and it felt like it should have been a lot later in the week already.
Oh, no.
And I looked at Amy as she was making dinner, and I was like, "Hey, what are we doing this weekend?" And she goes, "Why are we talking about that? It's only Tuesday." And I'm like, "Oh, great! Don't remind me." It's been a long first 2 days of the week, just as they usually are for me on my end. But Luke, I got another question for you today, buddy.
Oh God, give it to me. Give it to me.
I missed the Friday last week. Okay, no, you can't get up here. We're not doing this today, buddy.
Whiskey's like, I'm ready.
Yeah, whiskey's ready. When the Grizzlies were first conceived up in Vancouver in the mountains over there in Canada, wherever they were, what was their proposed name that was rejected by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police?
Was it the Mounties?
It was the Mounties.
Dude, Mounties. Well, so I was going to say all of my Mounties.
You got that a lot quicker than I thought you would.
Well, I was going to say I've seen Dudley Do Right a lot. And I love Dudley Do Right, Brendan Fraser. I love that ride at Islands of Adventure. I'm a weird Dudley Do Right head. So I don't know why. Canadian Mounted Police, I just find that to be really funny. So I didn't know we used to be. I didn't know that was
that was like the initial proposed name when they were in Vancouver before they settled on the Grizzlies.
Okay, so alternate history. Can you imagine if we just had like a Canadian mounted, like a cop on a horse with a red? Like, can you imagine if that was our mascot?
Dude, that would have been hilarious. And then all of a sudden you get to Memphis and you're like, what is happening?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Just like, oh yeah, this isn't what we thought we were getting into there. That's not Canadian. That's Midwestern. Oh my God, we're off the rails. I
mean, some Canadians sound
some
like
Canadians, right? They say.
I digress.
Yeah. It's I don't know. We're from Tennessee. We're from down south. We talk weird
down south.
Speaking of down south, I don't know. Speaking of down south, the Grizzlies are in full-fledged start of training camp. I don't know.
They're in the most non-southern city.
They are in my neck of the woods, which feels like LA sometimes, both in terms of traffic and in terms of the way the city is. I'm like, are we really in the South here? What's going on? Shout out Nashville, whatever. Get your crap together. They are at Belmont, and I asked my partner teaches there, and I was like, I don't cancel classes. Cancel all your classes this week. I just want you to go keep an eye on these guys.
It's hilarious because as someone my first year covering sports for UT Martin was when Belmont and Murray State were still in the Ohio Valley Conference. And like the year after is when they both left to go to the Missouri Valley. And it's funny because Murray State and Belmont had like this huge rivalry because both women's and men's basketball teams were pretty good when they were there. And it's funny when Ja got into his interview, he's wearing his Murray shirt, and he just like, man, I'm not having it. We're not doing this.
I think he said he was going to be wearing Murray State gear every day they were in Nashville.
Yeah, and it's funny enough because when I took my like first, I guess like visit up to UT Martin was the day that Murray State was playing there, it was really one of the first major like posterizations that Ja had go like big time at Murray State. And it was
man, that's what this first day, we're talking about Ja quotes. We're talking about like that's what a lot of this first day is, just kind of quotes.
Yeah, it is kind of quotes, but also too, like you look at what T.I. said. He mentioned a few things. He talked about Jaren and how they're going to try to utilize him. And one thing that I absolutely loved was the pick and roll game. That's the first time, man, it's been said over and over, but I can't reiterate it enough how much I love hearing T.I. talk basketball. And when he mentioned putting Jaren in the pick and roll, whether he was, rolling to the basket more and more, or, picking and popping out to the wing off the screens, dude, there's so much that can be explored just off of using Ja and Jaren in the pick and roll. And then also too, Ja saying yesterday that he was exhausted because their practice was so fast paced. And dude, you think about, like, these are some of the best athletes in the world, and Tomas Isolo has them gasping for air in a 2-hour workout. It is insane. I mean, those are just really the two big things that I took away just from the quote wise of today. One more thing I have in my little notes here on the side of my screen. It was DeMichael Cole mentioned kind of like how they have like a 3-stage kind of like vet system. He didn't exactly say 3-stage, but you have the two guys who come in from winning culture in KCP and Ty Jerome. Yep. You have the guys who have been here for 7 years, and Jaren Jackson and John Morant, who know the culture, who can get behind the culture. Then you have the young guys who are going to go to each of those two groups and figure out what they can do and figure out how they can grow. And I love that. I love that thought process. I hadn't thought about it because you have two guys who come in from winning cultures in Jerome and KCP. So they know what to do. They've been at the highest level. Jerome killed us in our own stadium, in our own forum last year. KCP has been to a finals and won a finals.
Yep.
And then you have the two guys who just know what Memphis is about in that training camp. And then obviously you have the young second-year rookie guys who are still trying to learn and implement themselves more and more. I never thought about it like that until Dr. Cole mentioned it in their little post-day recap. And so those are really the main things that stood out to me from day one. But like I said, we'll get more practices. We'll get more videos of who's running with the ones, who's running with the twos.
Yes. So we'll get more than just shots. I mean, I'm so glad that you mentioned Ty Jerome in that vet from a winning culture group, because I for some reason that's exactly what he is.
He's still relatively young himself though too, but he has more of the winning experience with, I think, 2 years on the Cavs.
Yep.
Than what the Grizzlies have right now.
And he played in the Warriors system briefly. Like, the dude knows how to win. And alternatively too, you get KCP, where it's like you get kind of both sides of the ball. You get that offensive spark plug, and you get that defensive guy. What do you need, youngins? Do you need defensive
a defensive centric player who knows his role on offense, who makes him a good all around player?
Bingo, man. Cool. I'm excited. This is like
I am too.
Just to have quotes to talk, just to like see people with a basketball in their hand and it go out the hands and into the hoop, and then to hear. And you and I haven't really talked about Tomas at all.
No.
And I'm so glad to hear you say that you just watching the man talk basketball is kind of like watching like a composer write music, like talk about music. He knows. It's more so than X's and O's. It's just like a feel for it.
With Taylor Jenkins, you got a fire hydrant spewing of nonsense of word salads. With Tomas Isolo, you're like, how do I process everything you just said that makes me forget everything about basketball that I've ever known?
Yes, and it's so refreshing. You would think that getting some water in your face from that fire hose you mentioned would be nice, but it wasn't. It was like, Jesus, TJ.
It was like, just answer the question straight up, please.
Yes, and yes. Wayno, I need to have my comment. Tomas actually answers questions and answers them well. And
very well.
And it's just like, we're so not used to that, especially on the first day of training camp where we come out and it's like, everybody looked really good. Everybody did blah, 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 word salad.
Everybody looked good. John Jaren, they're good. There's still areas we got to improve on from last year. Our team's still same as last year. They suck, but they don't suck.
And the pictures are just him with like a clipboard with them sitting down. It's like him. It was him and John, Jaren and Des sitting on the side.
I imagine like if it was olden times, you have like a scroll of like TJ coming in of just nonsense spewed. And he's like, "Hello, I have the last readings of nothingness."
That's amazing.
That's
there's like dust.
This is my college diploma.
I was like, brother, you got to put that on the wall.
Yeah, we do. We don't have a
frames. I don't have a frame either.
You think we have our lives in order over here?
I'd say mine's somewhere in a tube too. I don't know where it is.
My back wall is 3 canvas paintings, 2 that I painted, 1 that Amy got me for for birthday and a flash scarf that my brother-in-law got me, dude. Do you think we're that organized over here?
I love that scarf.
Dude, it's amazing. I love it.
You painted that?
No. So Amy painted this.
You guys are painters?
Yeah, we do. Amy painted this, and then I painted the panda in this disc golf painting.
Oh man, I am one disc golf's great too. I am not.
Oh, my camera's now messed up.
I'm not a writer, or I'm not a drawer. So anytime I see people that can paint or draw, I'm always vastly impressed because I'm
Luke.
just.
I said I wasn't a drawer either, but then once she showed me how she did it, because you can paint over your mistakes when you draw it.
Not me. No, I'm painting pen, brother. That's not true. TJ was at the Boston practice yesterday. That was fun.
Yeah, it's crazy how some part of our fan base was like, "Oh yeah, he's going to be wanted by all the top jobs."
And now he's got a television remote at the Boston practice looking for help. I don't want to gang up on him anymore. Yep. Damn. We'll see what comes out of day 2 today and then day 3 tomorrow, and then they're back in Memphis. So we'll see. Got a little bit of other b-ball news that we need to discuss, because after it wasn't quite a Mexican standoff. It was a Golden State standoff.
It was a
stalemate. I don't know. Pick boring. Like, what are we doing here? Jonathan Kuminga has signed here we go. No, I don't care about Joe Flacco. That's not okay. Well, I don't know why my phone was trying to tell me Joe Flacco. He did just get benched. Not in
that's
what I got
for the quarterback that everyone wanted. But
are they starting Taylor Gabriel?
Yeah,
Dylan Gabriel?
Dylan Gabriel.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's why my phone was like, you need to see this. Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors agree on a 2-year, $48.5 million deal. This deal includes a team option in the second year that is designed for the Warriors or another team if and when Kuminga is traded during the upcoming season to rip up and complete a fresh new contract after this season. So this is, it was weird because in the announcement, they were like, yeah, we signed him, but we signed him so it's easier to trade him. They said it in the announcement. It was weird.
Yeah. And I think, he gets right around the average annual value that he wanted with the $48.5 million contract, because he originally wanted 3 years, $75 million.
Yep.
He got 2 years, $48.5. But that second option, as you mentioned, I feel like it also gives Kuminga a little more control too, because say if the Warriors do keep him, which it feels like still that he does not want to be there. It's really it's say hey, basketball's about to be here. I have to accept this. And I really feel like, we could see Kuminga go the jaw route and go really start doing the whole representation thing himself. I feel like you have two drastic differences. Now, granted, Ja didn't sign a contract this year, but he's about to start renegotiating that extension here soon.
It's time.
And I feel like you're about to see a lot of players go into that, representing himself, but still having guys that you seek advice from, but instead of them getting part of your contract, you pay them.
Yeah,
I feel like Kuminga's kind of starting to go into that a little bit depending on if they pick up his option. Now, granted, he can't be traded until mid-January. He has already that no trade clause was taken out already. So the Warriors are like, we can send him wherever we want to. But here, does this make the Warriors better?
That's my thing, because I don't. All that this signing did was make it okay for them to officially now they can they can do Al Horford, they can do DeAnthony Melton.
No, they've already done those.
They've already done those.
Yeah, and they're the smallest small ball team right now.
Really weird. Yeah,
it is really weird. But you're going to get to January when that trade deadline comes around, and who's the first name you're going to start hearing more and more, unless the Bucks finally okay, let's just get rid of Giannis.
Oh yeah.
Which very well could happen this season. Who knows? But you're going to hear Kuminga's name a lot trying to go to a potential contender. Mm-hmm. And you're also going to see the Warriors try to, hold some teams up because they want every ounce of their future, because the Warriors are still clinging to the last bit of life that Draymond and Steph and now Seth are giving them.
So they got Steph, they got Seth, they got Draymond, they got Jimmy, they got Al, they got GP2. That is that's older. That's
a lot of people talking about the retirement home of the Lakers a few years ago with Carmelo and Russ and them. This might legitimately be a retirement home.
I just don't. I mean, like I just feel like you're going to have to limit every single one of these guys except Steph.
Except Steph. I mean, Steph's only had like 1.5 major injuries in his career.
Ankles, and it was ankles, and he comes back like I think pretty quickly. Like,
I mean, ankles are one of those finicky things that like you got to take care of early on, a la Zach Edey.
Yep.
But I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like the Warriors don't impress nor scare me.
Especially if we're talking like deep playoffs. Al Horford is, how old is Al Horford? Is he 41? He's 40. He's older than both of me.
I know he wears 42. Is he 42?
I just like, that's a guy that I really like, Al, Hall of Famer, but I mean, they're not going to be able to get a full season out of him. No. Boston couldn't get a full season out of him. And their backup bigs are Jackson Davis and Quentin Post. They're one pretty big injury away with a lot of, I don't want to say older,
they are a Jimmy / Steph late season hamstring strain away from fighting for a 7th or 8th seed to somehow falling out of the play-in.
Yep. One Steph Curry injury upends everything. And Kenny, I'm not hating on 40-year-olds. 40 is the new 20 is what I think they're saying. I'm knocking on that door. I don't know. I'm just saying that we should not be playing professional basketball. We play at the Y. We play pickup at the down at the
unless you're LeBron who spends $1 million on his
blood transfusions
on his body every single off season to stay in shape with magical non cheating substances that the league won't
test
enforce. Yeah, there you go, test for.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have black bands outside my door whenever I go to work today.
Yeah, we'll come back from the commercial and there's going to be someone standing in your doorway with like sunglasses on, and they'll be like, "Hey, how about you stop?" Can you be like, "Okay, I'm sorry." Oh yeah, this is important. Apparently LeBron did pull a glute is the correct term, I believe. Before training camp,
gluteus maximus.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, if there's anybody that's going to go and get that booty taken care of, I guess it's LeBron.
You got about 3 weeks till the season actually starts. He'll be back. He'll go to Germany, be back in 2 days. Yeah,
and he probably doesn't need training camp. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk some college football because there have been. Normally we like to talk the risers and the fallers in the top 25, but we talked the biggest riser yesterday, so we're just going to talk about people that fell off a cliff. We'll be right back to talk about that after this break.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
Adam Silver is doing everything to fix the NBA except actually trying to make the NBA a watchable commodity for people when it's a highlight league, and he's not trying to make it easy for the average fan to be able to find it. What are we doing? Like, you want to get other teams to compete in the NBA Cup, taking away the opportunity for local teams to be able to play in that, taking away home games from local teams. You already taken away one of mine.
The NBA is the most global sports brand there is outside of like FIFA. On a base level, I think I understand that. I don't like it because I'm so pro the home fan. I don't understand bringing European teams to play against American teams because the NBA is such, they draw the most elite players from all parts of the earth. Then you're incentivizing European players to stay in Europe.
Tune into the 2 Buck Sports Show with Rusty Whitten and Drew Gann, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
But Tim Cramsey, brother. We don't do helmet stickers. They do that on College Football Final. But if I could give my guy a helmet sticker, I absolutely would. For him to have 4 years of pocket passing quarterback, like we knew that it was going to be a transition into a different type of offense this year. And this offense is perfectly tailored toward the guy running it in Brendan Lewis. So you have a lot of success with one guy. You feel like you can make anybody sort of acquiesce.
It takes a lot, and you have to leave the ego at the door to say, look, we've had a lot of success here doing one thing. But the guy that we went and handpicked out of the portal, his strengths are not going to fit the style of offense that we've ran for the last 4 years. We're going to have to switch things up and do things differently. He has done it flawlessly and seamlessly in one offseason.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
And we are back. We are brought to you by Trilogy Tattoo. We are also brought to you by Grind City Brewing, which you fellas did a wonderful job last weekend.
Thank you.
I loved it. It made my work day great. I just had you guys on while I was working, and I was like, haha, I love those pretty fellas. And we're also brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. They're all great. They're all wonderful. Check them all out. We're going to be looking at FanDuel here in a second, but first we are going to look at the AP Top 25, the Week 6 poll, because there was some movement. We talked
a lot of movement.
Lord, was this movement week? Was this the biggest?
Was it
every team but Tennessee, Iowa State?
Was it Rusty's counterpart that called it? He called it moving week.
Yeah, I think he called it. Yep. I love how we're not going to name him Rusty's counterpart.
He's already gotten too much attention with.
Yeah, for real. I gave him a whole Ole Miss segment yesterday. That's all he's getting. Ole Miss was the biggest riser on here. We're not going to talk about that. We did that yesterday. They rose 9 spots. Ooh. Every team had some moving and shaking, except Iowa State and Tennessee, Ohio State, and Virginia and Arizona State. Every other team.
Well, they came in. They were non-ranked, but they had. They're newcomers.
Excuse me. So every team moved except 3.
3 or 4. That's
Tennessee,
insane.
Iowa State, and Ohio State. That's great.
Only 3 didn't move. That's insane. Yep. I didn't realize when looking at it last night that only
Tennessee's been 15 for 3 weeks in a row.
I knew Tennessee stayed put.
Iowa State stayed put. They were 14. So it's been them. They're like 14. They're like right in the middle of the pack. Everybody doesn't know what to make of them. And then you got Ohio State. It's nuts. And rather than focus on all the people that did good, because that's easy to do. I get like Uncle Buck's going to be doing that until Ole Miss wins the championship. I wanted to talk about the people that lost, because let's start first with Florida State.
Yeah, 10 spots?
10 spots, man. Yeah.
I mean, you're on the road. Virginia, they're 4-0 now.
Yeah.
I mean, literally before
into the top 25.
Yeah, before the game even started, this was a Friday night game, so I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, you were calling a game,
dude. We'll talk about this.
Awesome game, yeah.
Friday, insane game against Lausanne. Anyways, I was sitting there, I kept up with it, and all of a sudden, my producer taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, this is mid fourth quarter before we got into the crazy stuff of our game. It's like, hey, Florida State just lost," and I'm like, "No." And he's like, yeah, they lost in overtime by 8. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And kind of what Rusty just said, wasn't familiar with their game, has the 4th ranked total offense in the country. I don't think anyone was. They were, before the game even started, all I saw on Twitter was, this it's going to be Florida State by 20. And this was by non-Florida State fans.
Yeah.
It's like people who are pretty decently respected in the national college football world on social media.
That knows stuff.
And Virginia came out and said, you know what? It's crazy. Also, too, I'm going to have a half boomer, half not take on that field rush. It was very cinematic and beautiful to watch. But deadgum Squirrel White might be dead. That was one of the most awesome field rushes I've ever seen, but also one of the most dangerous field rushes I think I have ever seen. They were on the field before the final play even started.
Yeah, boy, man, that's. I'm with you. It was like beautiful, and then you're like, your brain realized what was happening. You're like,
Did your brain realize like,
are
hey,
they safe?
there's two Virginia defensive backs that are like next to Squirrel White, and it looked like one of them jumped on top of them, and I don't know if that was like a, hey, like I'm just gonna like try to keep you from like I'm getting down as well because I don't want to die, but oh my gosh, well, where's Virginia? But here's the thing though, it doesn't get easy. They're where I have it on my notes. They're at a undefeated Louisville this week.
Yeah, man, and they're like, if you go, go over to FanDuel Sportsbook if you want to look at this. Their odds to miss the playoffs, it's minus 750. Florida State. Like I think they were there to make the playoffs. Yes, plus 490. To miss the playoffs minus. They are favored to miss the playoffs now, Florida State.
By like a lot. You said what, 750?
A lot, minus 750.
Oh, what's their, I mean, like,
that
their
seems like
offense,
such a big swing to me.
That is a huge swing. And like, if, let's see, they dropped 18. What's their schedule remaining? Because I know right now in the ACC, I think you have, they have Miami this week. So that's going to determine a lot. Look, that line's going to swing so much after this week. But then afterwards, you have Pitt, who is 2-2, Stanford, who is 2-3, Wake Forest 2-2, Clemson, who is 1-3.
God, they're bad.
Tech 2-3, NC State, who's 3-2, Florida, who is 1-3. They're probably still, even with a loss to Miami, if you're at 10-2 going into selection day, I think with a win over, if Alabama keeps doing their doing.
Yep.
With win over Alabama, they're gonna be in. I mean,
that's good money, man. I think like minus 750 to miss.
The highest ACC school right now, outside of Miami at number 3,
is it Georgia Tech?
Is Georgia Tech at 16?
Yeah, that's weird.
Or 17. Sorry, Vandy's 16. But yeah, and those are the only 3 teams who are there, or 4 teams now with Virginia.
Man, that's. You want to put some money on that, do it responsibly, you might be able to win some. Because I'm with you. It's like
even with the loss this week, they're still staring 10-2 down the barrel.
Yes, and I don't know. And it's like if your losses, if you,
I have learned not to doubt Vegas in my betting life. Yeah. I've learned not to doubt Vegas because they know their stuff.
Yep, there's people way smarter than us, but
what in the world? Like, this is the one time I'm like, Vegas, what are we doing here?
Yeah, the swing there is just so big, which I'm curious. The other 2 biggest fallers here are teams that were a little bit closer to home for us. There was Georgia and LSU. Each fell 7th. Georgia fell 7 spots. LSU fell 9. They are both outside the top 10 yet.
Yeah, so LSU and Ole Miss literally just switched spots. 13-4. So those are that's really the dropping point. I'm concerned for LSU, Luke. I really am.
They didn't look good.
They didn't look good. The defense looked great. I mean, they still look good. Yes, now, granted, Lane goes for it on a 4th and something, and they drain the last 4-ish minutes of clock time.
Yeah.
But this LSU offense, and someone put a clip side by side of Nussmeier throwing a deep ball this year and last year. And now, granted, I know he's dealing with injuries, but it's just, this LSU offense, something's not clicking there. Yeah. You have all the talent on the outside. You can't run the football to save your life. I think
it's weird. It's weird.
It's very weird. Just something's not clicking. This isn't the typical Brian Kelly offense that you see.
Yeah, I don't, and it's weird how noticeable it is. That's my thing. Like it's just for the LSU that we are used to seeing, this is not representative of that. And that's what's just weird. We're just used to a very different product on the field.
We're used to a very different product. Like even in years where they finished like, a 9-3 or even like an 8-4, they still put up a competitive games from their offensive standpoint. Like their offenses look better. And it's just up front, they look bad, dude.
Yep.
It's up front, they look bad. Their defense, like I said, still phenomenal. But going back to the weeks prior, when you pick off DJ Lagway 5 times and can only put up 20 points with it, that's the first real big indicator that's bad. And let's see here, LSU, they fell to 13. There it is. And they have this week is a bye week, so they're off this week to try to get. They definitely need it to get kind of rejuvenated. They have South Carolina at home. They're on the road at Vanderbilt, at home versus A&M, at Alabama. The next 4 games.
That's rough, man.
It is a rough stretch.
Right now, that FanDuel has them favored to miss the playoffs. They are, but it's a lot closer. There's to make the playoffs is plus 225. To miss is minus 290.
I don't know how you look at the way conferences are lined up
And say that they're good.
and how you look at the way conferences are lined up, and you look at who is playing good on one side of the ball and whatnot, and say, hey, LSU, a lot better odds to make the playoffs than Florida State.
Yeah.
I think if you put those two on a neutral field right now,
then Florida State will win.
Florida State has enough offensive firepower to overcome that defense. And yes, it's a Florida State defense who's not necessarily the best, but they're not bad. They're kind of middle of the pack. I don't think they'll be. LSU will get a score here and there to make it like a 20-something, like they'll score the 20s. But it's going to be one of those games where you watch it and it's like, oh, Florida State dominated that entire game, and yet they're up like 10.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to put it. When you look at the odds of both those teams, and it's like, put those guys on a neutral field. Who do you have?
Put those guys on neutral field, and also too, like you look at their conferences and the path to get to the playoff. Florida State has a much easier path right now to get to the postseason.
10 times out of 10, they have a better chance.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you look at the other team, Georgia fell. Their odds are still they're definitely fine. Their odds they're still favored to make the playoffs by they're fine. Like there's nothing to worry about there. Whereas this LSU Florida State teams, it's like, what are we doing?
You have some things to worry about with those two teams. With Georgia, you're like, okay, they took a loss at home to a Bama team who has looked a lot better so far.
Yeah,
it's just I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't want to talk about them, even though they rose a little bit. They were probably the biggest riser on here. I mean, other than Ole Miss, Alabama jumped 7 spots.
Yeah,
God.
Yes, they back in the top 10.
Yep.
Back in the top 10, and rightfully so. I mean, you go to Georgia, and everyone was like, "Oh, they've gotten bounce back wins against ULM and Wisconsin, as T-Pain says." But you look at that game, and I got to give big props to that first half that Ty Simpson had as well. He's played himself, and he's played this Bama team. Jam Miller was a huge. We'll talk about like him going late in the game, getting behind that offensive line. Looked really well. Bama played the greatest game of keep away I think I've ever seen in the second half. They controlled the clock in the second half, but it's Bama looked good. No one goes into Sanford Stadium and wins.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rusty. But no one goes into Sanford Stadium and wins. And Bama started out hot early. Now, granted, they missed a field goal to start the second half, but like they only had one drive that was shorter than 4 plays in the second half. And even though they did not score in that second half, which everyone was talking about with the whole, the problem with Alabama not scoring in the second half. It's like, man, they're still kind of finicky. You missed a field goal, and then you control the clock the entire time. You have a turnover on downs after a 6-minute drive almost. And then in the fourth quarter later, you have a 5.5-minute drive that's like 9 plays. So like they are draining the clock, and they're playing good control football. Just didn't score, and you cap that drive on a turnover turnover on downs. You probably score on that drive. You miss a field goal there, then you end up winning that game, Luke. Instead of by 3, you end up winning that game by 13, and it looks a lot more impressive. So it's still impressive. Jam Miller at the very end of the game, getting behind his offensive line and just saying, "Get on my back. We're getting first downs here." It was impressive to watch.
Yeah, it was. If you like the sport of college football, I don't know how you watch that and you weren't like.
And also, little fun fact. So the Simpson family now, for the first time since Ty has been named a starter, they went 3-0 on the weekend. Grant did a little. That was one of my deadline stories that popped up yesterday that I had to get done. But
that's awesome.
Dude, Graham threw for almost 500 yards on Friday night against Lausanne. They won by 3. Jason Simpson at UT Martin gets a conference win, his first win of the year over Southeast Missouri State. and then Ty does that at Georgia. So it was a fun weekend for that. It was a fun weekend for that whole family. Dude. It was
That's
fun to watch.
awesome. I would love to be in that family this weekend. This sounds fun. This is like a good time. Memphis and Mississippi State also received some votes. I feel like I need to mention that.
Yeah, they're still receiving votes. I told Rusty on Saturday, I was like, if any team moves into the top 25 after a loss, it deserves to be Mississippi State.
Yep.
4-1, you took Tennessee to the brink at your own home.
Yep.
Man, Memphis is still, they got more votes this week than they did last week. They're starting to finally catch some of the attention of the AP voters.
Yes.
And the college football committee is watching with their hey, it's October 1st. The college football committee is watching with a month out of putting up their rankings. So those two teams, I feel like if trajectories, keep going, I think if Mississippi State is, 5-3 when that time comes around, you look at that schedule, or 5-3, 6-3, I think they get tail end top 25 vote. Yeah. I think Memphis is definitely going to be in that top 25 by the time that first CFP poll comes out.
I agree. The way the schedule wise, I just think it's kind of lined up for them.
You have your biggest games at home if you're Memphis.
Yep. It's kind of they will run out of excuses, honestly. Like if they don't.
Gosh.
Yeah. One conference that I particularly didn't mention, even though there was some movement here, is the Big Ten. Yes. And the reason I didn't do that is because it's time for our daily dose of It's a Trap, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Name of the game is It's a Trap. I will give you a topic. And today's topic is going to be the updated odds to win the Big Ten Conference Championship. I didn't bring this up because we had Ohio State stayed put, but Penn State fell, Oregon jumped, Indiana won. They jumped up a lot. There was a lot of movement in the Big Ten. And so I wanted to, give you 3 odds and you tell me which one is a trap bet. Here, let's go. Okay. Updated Big Ten Conference Championship winner odds. Which one of these is a trap? Is it A, Oregon plus 155, Ohio State plus 165, or Indiana plus 700?
Oh, man. Indiana doesn't have a loss yet. But, they favor big names more as well. I know those two, Oregon and Ohio State, are going to be close, but are they top of the line that close? Who else is in that daggone conference now? You put me on the spot, and now I'm losing it. Penn State, they're higher than Indiana. I feel like Penn State would be sitting in that plus 600 to 700 range now, plus 500. Are they? It's a close get. Plus 700. You still have Michigan in there who's fighting for a conference title too. There's no. It's Indiana. It's Are they higher? Are they higher or lower?
Lower. You talked yourself. You knew what you were doing. You were absolutely right. Oregon and Ohio State.
I was about to say Oregon and Ohio State. They probably could both be favored at 155 both.
Yep, and you could literally. This might change, but this might have changed by the time we get off the show. I feel like
it's 1A, 1B with them.
100%. Penn State is right behind them at plus 700.
Okay.
Indiana's plus.
I was about to say. I would say a close overtime loss. Now granted, James Franklin still cannot win the big game. A close overtime loss, I figured, shouldn't have dropped Penn State's odds that far.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I agree, and I think most of this, Michigan is also, I think, like plus 1,000. They're between Indiana and Penn State. Yeah. I think these odds are more like in recognition of Oregon and Ohio State, because both them, Oregon looked great over the weekend.
Let's see, do they play? Almost dropped everything on my desk. Do they play each other this year? Oh, let's see. Oregon football.
Oregon and Ohio State?
Yeah, I don't think they do. I know they did last year.
It's like they wouldn't meet until the Big Ten championship.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but we do get, after the bye week this week for Oregon, we do get Oregon, Indiana next week.
That's huge. That'll be huge. We'll see what these odds.
Revisit these odds after that game, and if Indiana somehow keeps it up, it'll be crazy. Oregon's schedule after that lightens up huge. They had a front heavy schedule with Penn State and Indiana back to back, but they go Rutgers, Wisconsin, Iowa. I'm never going to say Wisconsin normal again. Now that it's in my head, that USC, Minnesota, Washington. That's who that is. So yeah, they wouldn't meet Ohio State until the championship game. And real quick, Ohio State. I'm looking to see what could mess with their odds.
Yeah,
They have a date with Penn State on November 1st, that Saturday.
Oh, and that's late in the season too.
That's in Ohio State. That'll be fine. They have Minnesota this week. They're at Illinois, who what was that? It's like a turtle. That's the rivalry, the game there. And then they're at Wisconsin, then Penn State at home, and then obviously you have Lord knows what's going to happen no matter how bad teams are in Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah, God,
later in the year. So I mean, let's see. Ohio State, they still have 3 ranked opponents as of right now on their schedule,
and
so
Oregon has 1,
and Oregon has one. Do I think Ohio State loses any of those games before Michigan? Because I'm not making a bet on the Michigan game. No,
hell no.
That game it's at Michigan this year too, so it's at the Big House.
Not touching that game with a 10-foot pole.
I'm not touching that game with a what is it, like a 9.5-foot pole or whatever?
That's what. From the Grinch.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, dude, hey, it is close. We were at Walmart the other day, and Amy was like, "Hey, can we go to the Christmas section? They already have it out." I'm like, "Yes, you've been jonesing to do it. We'll go.
We'll go." It's time, brother. Well, we got to get through Halloween first.
Yeah. Hey, but we're in the home stretch of the year. We're in the last quarter of 2025. Yeah.
Thank God.
We're through 9 months. The pregnancy is over, and now you get the honeymoon phase of having a baby.
Right. Before we get out of here, I want to know, how was the game this weekend? How was the game on Friday? I was following you on Twitter, and
so good. If you don't know what Luke's talking about, I call high school games on the Sports 731 network. Call Westview Athletics more specifically. Lausanne coming to town. They play Memphis area school. Dude, they were 1-2 coming into the game, but they're playing the toughest schedule in Weakley County. Now their opponent record combined this year is now 17-3 through the first 6 weeks of the season. And they've only played 4 games because they only have 9 on their schedule right now. They have a game against Collierville, who's undefeated as well. Again, I think it's either this week or next week. But they're going to make the postseason in their region. But no, the game wise, it was insane. Westview's up 19-9 after the first quarter, went into the halftime tied at 22. Third quarter was all Lausanne. They took a 5-point lead after a safety and a field goal. And then fourth quarter was just it was so fun. Westview up 10, Lausanne scores to go down by 3. Westview tries to convert on 4th down, don't get it. Lausanne gets the ball back with about 45-ish seconds left, and last-ditch Hail Mary attempt. It got batted in the air for like 2 seconds, and it was one of those moments where everyone's like on the edge of their seat because it felt like the ball was just in the air for so long.
Probably silent.
And it ultimately fell down. And yeah, Westview gets battle tested early in the season, and it was such a fun game. I hadn't got to call a close game like that this year because everything has been either 30 points or more margin of victory. But Westview got tested. It was a fun game to call, and those, as a announcer, broadcaster, those are just the games you live for, man.
Dude, yes. I mean, who says there's nothing romantic about sports? That's like, just hearing you talk about that, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
it just sounds so great.
It's one of those, like, as a fan, you love it, but you put yourself in that broadcast booth, being like tuned in with it. That's how, like, the likes of Kevin Harlan, Gus Johnson feel when they call it big time game, dude. It is insanely fun to get to call a game that close. And if you've never experienced it, or if you ever want to get into broadcasting, do it because of those games, because it's so much fun, dude.
Oh my God, this sounds amazing. Oh God, I hope you. What are you calling this? You got one this weekend?
I have one this weekend, but it is.
You don't sound excited.
Dude, it's gonna be a game where we are talking anything and everything but football by the time the second half comes around.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's gonna do it for our show today, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk some more training camp. We'll talk other stuff. We'll preview Thursday night football. Yeah, we got some good. Is it a good one? I don't. Well,
you know what? Let's find out. I'm kind of terrified that it's not. Oh man, with Rams Niners.
Okay, you know what? Better than last week. So we're going to preview that. Tune in to $2 today. Also, Anthony saying today. Thank you, FanDuel. Yep. Thank you, Trilogy Tattoo. Thank you, Grind City Brewing. Have good days today, y'all. Have a good day at work. Be safe. If we can leave you with anything today, remember 2 things. 1, be a little weird today. And 2, remember to smile. It's important. Bye, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to The Daily Grind. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.